again, everyone. I am here today with another art supply unboxing. This is a place that I have never ordered from before. It's called St. Louis Art Supply, and I have to admit I fell for ads on Facebook for this company. They had a lot of really cool things that were not necessarily things that I found everywhere, and their prices were reasonable, so I figured I would try it out. And I think this is one of the benefits of the pandemic, if anything can be called a benefit in the pandemic, is that a lot of local art stores, like local smaller art stores, are selling their items online to try and get more business. So I feel like I'm having access to a lot more art stores than I would otherwise. So let's go ahead and delve in here and I'll show you what I got. So the first thing is, well, actually, let me just take all of this out because it's only a few items and then I don't have to have the box on the table. So this first item is a Princeton travel brush in the Aqua Elite line. And I already have one of these in the faux squirrel. And this is more, I think, like a faux Kolinsky. And I wasn't all that impressed by the faux squirrel one. So I thought I would try this one, and they had a really good price on these. And it's very interesting. This actually feels very different than the other brush I had or have. I wonder if it's a new iteration or if just the difference in the two different types of brushes. And again, I apologize for the inky fingers. Fountain pen accident, let's just say that. But yeah, it feels very light, and I kind of like the feel of it. This is a size 6. I'm not going to be testing this out today. I'm just going to be doing an unboxing because I don't really have what I need handy, although, you know, I probably do have the ability to do that if I grab some paper real quick. Hold on. I have some right here. Okay. I'm going to open up my Pentalic notebook where I do most of my swatches, and we can go ahead and swatch the paint that I have here too, and then test this brush. Oh, my book is having some issues here. Okay. One of the little things untwisted here from the edge, but we'll just ignore that. So, so there's this brush, which I've decided now I'm going to test. I figure otherwise it might be a short video. And here's just some stickers, a little business card that's really kind of cute for that company. Put that off to the side. And this is actually really neat. This is a paper palette, but in a really nice, small, compact size, and I had never seen this before. So basically, if you don't know, palette paper is a paper that's almost like wax paper. So it has a slick side and then a more matte side. And on the slick side, you can mix color right here directly on the paper, and then when you're done, you can throw it away. I actually reuse mine quite a bit, especially when I use it with watercolor, because you can just wipe it off and do it again. When it's with acrylic, which is actually what I use this for the most, I will tend to throw it away. Or sometimes I'll use the papers that I've used in collage and that sort of thing. But I usually use a much bigger palette. So this was kind of nice, and I thought it was kind of portable, and I'd never seen that size before. This is by Holbein, which I don't see a lot of products other than paints by Holbein anywhere here. So that was kind of a fun find. And then this is a Kuretake Gansai Tambi set of 12 colors. So I have a larger set of these. Sorry, it's kind of big, so I wasn't getting it in the camera. I have a larger set of these, but it does not contain any of these colors. So I really was excited about this so I could sort of supplement what I have, because I have the 36 color set, and I think these are the colors that are in the 48 color set, I think. So basically this is the colors on the bottom that I'm missing from my larger set. And I will show my larger set on the channel here sometime. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and get swatching. I have some really, really dirty water over here that I had been painting with already. But I will go ahead and try it. I'm not gonna show you the water because it really is truly filthy. Okay. That was part of the reason why I wasn't really planning to do swatches, but you know, it's good to play it by ear and do what you can. Okay, so right now I'm rinsing off the travel brush, rinsing off the material that was on the brush. Usually I think that's some sort of gum arabic or something like that to hold the brush fibers together. Okay, and here's what that looks like after having wet it. Okay, and one thing I am noticing is that this handle is a little wobbly. When twisting it, it makes it slightly less wobbly. We'll see if that's going to be an issue. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see, do these have color names? Okay, I'm not going to write the color names, but I will tell you what the colors are as I go across them because I didn't want this to be too long of a video today. And these colors tend to be a little bit more opaque than regular watercolor, and I think part of that is probably because you've got white colors in there. Okay, so this is Cherry Blossom Pink. But the nice thing about them is they have really beautiful colors, and I'm not really quite sure where they lie on the spectrum as far as being artist grade or something else, something lower. Okay. And I probably, when I'm using my bigger set, I do tend to put more water in here to kind of loosen them up. But I don't really have the time for that today. So let's just get in there with what we have. Okay, so that one, oh, are they not in order in the swatch thing? That's kind of weird. So, okay, so that was Cherry Blossom Pink. This was Horizon Blue. And then this kind of nuclear green here, that I think is Lime Green. Yeah, it's very strange. They're not in order on the sheet when they're named. Okay, but it's pretty easy to tell what's what because they're fairly different in color. Okay, so I'm going down and then I'm going to go back up and go down here. So this one I believe is Natural Beige, and I'm going off camera and getting some more water just to water it out just a little bit. Natural Beige. And so far, I mean, this brush seems to be working just fine. I do like that it's stiffer than the other one that I have, but that, I mean, that makes sense given that it's a faux Kolinsky as opposed to a faux Squirrel Mop. Okay, and this one is, this is either Indian Red or Maroon. I think I'm going to hold judgment until I see the other red or dark red that's in here. That's actually really nice. I like, other than that crazy lime green, I'm not sure what I would use that for, but I do like the other colors here. Okay, and this is gray, just plain old gray. All right, and then this one up here is Lilac. And again, if I had wet these before swatching them, I would definitely be getting more pigment on the paper here. And this one I think is Cobalt Blue. These are really pretty. And then this one is Greenish Yellow. Okay, that's more my speed, but it's still a little bit bright. This one is Rose Beige. That actually would be a really nice one for flowers. Rose Beige, and then this one is either the Maroon or the Indian Red. Let's see. Okay, so I definitely think this is Maroon and that this one is Indian Red. Okay, and this is the last one. It's a pretty small set. This is, ooh, love it. This is blue gray deep. It's almost like a Payne's gray. All right, those are great colors, with the one exception with the lime green, which I assume I could probably tone down with some of the other colors. Let's see, I'm trying to think what would be a good, I mean, I could add a little bit of red. Actually, let's go ahead and try out this little palette sheet here, and I can show you how that works. So I'm going to get a little bit of the lime green. You can see it doesn't stick to it. I'm going to put a little bit of the lime green, and I'm actually going to put some maroon in there, which is kind of it's close to its complement as I can get here, I think. Oh, that was too much. Okay, but you can definitely see it's a neutral. Okay, I'm going to put more lime green in there. Okay, well, I mean, that's more of a natural color that I would probably use on something. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, and like I was saying, for the watercolor on this sheet, just rinsing out my brush here. For the watercolor on these sheets, I can just wipe it off and reuse that sheet. I mean, there's a little bit of staining there because these paints are pretty well pigmented, but then I'm not wasting the whole palette, and I would definitely use this again. So I probably get quite a few uses out of this, but again, if I'm using it with acrylics, because acrylics dry and harden on the palette, it's really hard to use it for other colors unless you're kind of going over the colors that are there, and then it kind of muddies what you're seeing and mixing. All right, well, there you go. I was able to use all of the items there. So again, this is St. Louis Art Supply, where I got all of these things, and I really found the prices to be fairly reasonable. And this little guy was about half of the price it was on Amazon, so that's good, although for some reason on Amazon they were really super expensive. I really actually like this brush. I like that it's really, really light. I like the brush itself. My only complaint is the slightly wobbly handle. What I might do is just crimp this a little bit more so that it stays more firm, because sometimes even with my Rosemary & Co. brushes, sometimes they'll be a little loose when I guess post. Yeah, that's when I post them at the end. So they suggest crimping just a little bit this cover so that it fits more firmly. So I might do that. But I think that this is probably a good buy. I like it. This is a size 6, which I think I said. And this is the Aqua Elite one. So there is a, and you can look at the descriptions too. There is a version, like I said, like this one, that is a faux Kolinsky. So this is a synthetic brush. So it should be, I'm not sure if it's vegan, but it shouldn't have any animal products in it. And then they also have one that is like a synthetic squirrel. And this one, which is the synthetic Kolinsky, is a little bit stiffer, which I like. I actually prefer a stiffer brush just for painting. For something like this, it might have actually been better to use a softer brush, but I like this better for the control I get when painting. And I actually think these colors are really beautiful in this set here, and I'm really excited to add them to the ones that I already have. And now, because I was thinking, I was like, I don't want to get a whole 48 set of these because I already have some. Oh, and it has a little swatch sheet. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do that too, because I already have some of, and I would be duplicating a lot of colors, and I'm really happy that I was able to get just these. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the swatch box here. So this is that Cherry Blossom Pink. Oh, they are in order here on the inside cover. They just weren't in order on the label here. That's what I was looking at originally. Okay, so that's the Cherry Blossom Pink. I'm gonna go the other side and do the Lilac. It's a little bit hard to get in here just because of the awkwardness of the box here. Okay, Lilac. I think I told you that this was Horizon Blue, but if not, that's Horizon Blue. Okay, the next one is cobalt blue. I'm gonna add a little more paint there. Yeah, and I think given how hard these have been to re-wet right now, I would definitely add some water to them before I really got into painting them. That's usually what I do with my bigger set. And that's the lime green, which we've seen can be toned down by adding its complement or as close to its complement. And greenish yellow. Okay. Natural beige. It's almost like a buff titanium. Rose blush. Indian red. And you'll see these paints are very pigmented. Maroon. I don't know if that looks very maroon to me, but I'll let them have that. And then this is the gray. And the blue-gray deep. Okay, so there's all the colors there swatched out, and there's all the colors in the pan, in the pans. And so the name of this particular set, which I think I may have mentioned at the beginning, is the 12 color set number 2. So just in case you're looking for this particular set, like I said, I do believe that there are not any duplicates here of, if you already have the 36 color set by Kuretake, there will not be any duplication, I believe, in this smaller set. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end there. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again next time. Feel free to subscribe so you can keep track of future videos on my channel, and have a great day. All right, thanks so much, bye.